Have you ever felt like your life has turned into an endless scroll? Like every minute, every second, you crave something new. Another video, another reel, another click. And yet, your heart still feels empty. There's a hollowness deep inside that never seems to go away. You know you're searching for something. But what is it? And why? Even if you find it, it soon starts feeling meaningless. This is today's biggest mental battle. And at the root of this battle is a small chemical, dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical that makes your brain feel pleasure. But slowly, we become addicted to that very pleasure. The book Dopamine Detox shows us a path to freedom from this addiction. It's a mirror that reveals how we are losing ourselves in a fake world, leaving behind our real lives. What dopamine really is? It's a neurotransmitter, a chemical that sends signals in your brain, telling you when you've done something good and deserve a reward. When you watch a new reel on Instagram, get a like, receive a message, or play a new game, your brain releases dopamine. It makes you feel good. But the real problem begins when that feeling becomes a compulsion. We keep chasing that reward, craving those small dopamine hits through social media, junk food, pop-up notifications. All this rewires our brain. Now, we seek only those things that give us instant gratification, while real joy drifts further and further away. Think about it. What's the first thing you do when you wake up? Chances are, your hand reaches for your phone without even thinking. You check notifications, open Instagram, read leftover WhatsApp messages, or dive into YouTube videos. And you think it's just a habit. But the truth is much deeper. This is not just a habit, it's a design, a trap. One created by tech companies with a deep understanding of how your brain works. They know how dopamine hits pull you back to their apps again and again. And in that cycle, your entire day gets trapped. Notice how, the moment you're a little free, on a train, during a break, at lunch, your hand automatically reaches for your phone. That's not a coincidence, that's an addiction. It's a psychological loop that keeps pulling you back to the same dopamine-releasing tools. And what do you gain from it? Nothing. At the end of the day, you're exhausted, but you've done nothing productive. Your mind feels heavy. Your mood is low. And the scariest part? This all starts to feel normal. That's the real trap of dopamine. Today's world has brought us to a mental state where we no longer even know what true peace feels like. Think about it. How do you feel after scrolling Instagram for hours? Are you really happy? Or do you feel drained and empty inside? That's the true sign of dopamine addiction. It doesn't give you the joy it promises. It deprives you of real peace and satisfaction. It disconnects you from yourself, your mind, your soul. And the saddest part is that this addiction is now commonplace. Almost everyone is under its effect. And they don't even realize it. A path that teaches us to slow down, to reflect, and to rediscover real joy. But first, understand, this is not magic. Not an instant fix. It won't make you calm and peaceful overnight. This is a process, a disciplined process that slowly resets your brain, freeing it from the pointless desires that exhaust you every day. It may sound easy, but once you try it, you realize how hard it is. For those 24 hours, you must stay away from anything that gives you instant pleasure. No phone. No social media. No YouTube. No video games. No junk food. Not even music. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Your mind keeps trying to run back to those things you've given up. But slowly, beyond the noise, you begin to feel something deeper. When you cut off all dopamine inputs, your brain starts to find real rest. It quiets down. You start talking to yourself. You think about things you hadn't in months, your childhood dreams, the work you truly want to do, the relationships you've neglected. And that is the real gift of this book. It reconnects you to yourself. A door from the fake world to the real one, where peace comes from within, where you're lit not by your screen's glow, but by your inner light. When you start feeling that being alone is not a punishment, but a gift, that's when you realize how long you've been disconnected from yourself. It's the kind that settles into your soul, slowly and deeply. And maybe today, more than ever, we truly need it. If you genuinely want freedom from this addiction, you must understand and follow them. Eliminate distraction. Not just turning off the screen. Break the mental link pulling you back to it. Dopamine is released by anything that gives instant pleasure. All causes dopamine spikes. Embrace boredom. In today's world, being bored feels like a crime. But Tebow says boredom is a blessing. When you're bored, your brain truly rests. Creativity surfaces. Deep thinking begins. But if every minute is filled with stimulation, there's no room for thought. It may seem like a waste of time at first, but over time, it connects you to your inner self. You face the questions you've long avoided. Writing brings clarity. Meditation brings insight. Your brain will constantly crave that dopamine hit. Just one scroll, just one video. That's the moment you must be strong. That's the test. Will you break free or stay trapped? We've turned our brains into machines that demand stimulation 24/7. Even a little silence makes us uneasy. Not wanting to see, hear, or do anything. We're pulled back toward our phones, toward the noise. We've forgotten what real peace feels like. An average person checks their phone around 150 times a day. That's once every 10 minutes. Imagine, you're awake for 14 to 15 hours, and every 10 minutes, you're distracted by a screen. Think about how disconnected from yourself you've become. Your phone controls you, not your need, not your will, but your addiction. The inner strength you've handed over to technology. The stress that arrives with every ping and buzz. The goal is to help you realize how long you've handed your happiness, your focus, your time to something else. We've become so distracted that we no longer reflect our own lives. We live in comparison, always needing something new, something exciting. But have you ever asked yourself, is all this really making you happy? Or just temporarily numbing you? Where peace and rest coexisted with purpose. If you stay with that silence long enough, something new emerges. You begin to hear the voices that were drowned out by noise. Your inner voice, gently asking, is this really the life you wanted? Have you made peace with giving up your dreams? It is not a one-time activity. It's the beginning of a new lifestyle. As you step away from small, daily dopamine hits, your mind begins to reset. You're drawn to things that bring real satisfaction, not just momentary pleasure. Where earlier every conversation was interrupted by a phone buzz, now those conversations complete. Real connection forms. Your dreams, the ones you once thought were impossible, begin to resurface. Believe that.